Zulkarnain is an exemplary figure immortalized in the Quran Surah Al-Kahfi, verses 83 to 99. He was a pious king to whom Allah granted authority, knowledge, wisdom, justice, and the ability to govern the earth. He even conquered the easternmost and westernmost parts of the earth. Hence, he was named Zulkarnain, meaning the owner of two horns, as his dominion reached the two ends of the world. He was granted immense power. Nations submitted to him, kings conquered, and communities served him. He fought against all forms of injustice and invited people to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He also protected certain people by constructing a strong barrier between them and Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog are two tribes that do damage on the earth. Despite his immense power and blessings from Allah, King Zulkarnain remained humble, attributing all his achievements to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How did he journey to the westernmost part of the earth, where the sun sets in a murky sea? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy for King Zulkarnain to conquer many regions, including those difficult for other rulers to reach. Allah also described how Zulkarnain reached the place where the sun seemed to set in a murky sea, marking the westernmost part of the earth. There, he encountered a community living in the area. This community displayed some characteristics of disbelievers. He preached to them and invited them to have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah granted Zulkarnain the authority to punish or show kindness to them. Demonstrating remarkable wisdom and justice, he declared that whoever disbelieves and commit injustice will be punished, while those who believe and perform righteous deeds will be rewarded the best reward by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, he took another path, heading east, toward the place where the sun rises. How did he journey to the easternmost part of the earth, where the sun rises? Allah said, then he followed another way, referring to his journey from the west to the east, the place where the sun rises. On his way, he encountered various communities, inviting them to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who obeyed him were honored, while those who rejected him were humiliated, defeated, and punished. As Zulkarnain reached the easternmost part of the earth, he found a community without shelter from the sun. Sheikh Abdur Rahman Sadi explained that these people might not have built homes, living as nomads, or that the sun perpetually shone over them, much like some areas in southern East Africa. He preached to them and invited them to have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Zulkarnain arrived at a place unknown to the inhabitants of the earth, all of which happened by the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he took another path. How did Zulkarnain build the strong barrier wall between a people and Gog and Magog? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then he took another path. King Zulkarnain then journeyed northward. When he reached a place between two mountains, he encountered a people who could barely comprehend his speech due to their unfamiliar language and the lack of understanding in their minds. Allah, the Almighty, had granted Zulkarnain the scientific knowledge that allowed him to understand their language, and they were able to communicate with him. They complained about the evil deeds of Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog are two formidable nations descended from Prophet Adam, who caused destruction, killing, and plundering in their land. The people said, O Zulkarnain, indeed Gog and Magog are causing corruption on the earth. They asked Zulkarnain to build a barrier wall between them and Gog and Magog. They gathered a large amount of wealth to offer him as payment for this task. This demonstrates their inability to build the barrier wall and their recognition of Zulkarnain's ability to do it. They were willing to offer him a great reward to build the barrier wall. However, Zulkarnain was not greedy and had no desire for their wealth. He fulfilled their request for the greater good, not taking any payment from them. He expressed gratitude to his lord for the knowledge and ability he had given him. Zulkarnain said to them, "I only ask that you assist me with your strength. Provide me with pieces of iron." They supplied him with the iron until it reached the tops of the two mountains. Then Zulkarnain instructed, "Start a great fire so that the iron becomes hot." Once the iron was heated, he requested molten copper to be poured over the pieces of iron. Consequently, the barrier wall became incredibly strong, preventing Gog and Magog from causing harm. The people were protected from the malevolence of Gog and Magog. Thus, they, Gog and Magog, could not ascend it due to the height of the barrier, nor could they breach it because of its strength. Gog and Magog had no means of escaping their place except through this route. Zulkarnain observed the great project he had completed, but he did not become prideful. He attributed the blessing to his lord. He said, "This wall is a mercy from my lord," meaning it was a grace and goodness from him toward me. This is the state of righteous leaders. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants them noble blessings, their gratitude and acknowledgement of Allah's blessings grow. Zulkarnain also proclaimed his belief that the wall he had built would eventually collapse at the time Allah had appointed. Is the Zulkarnain mentioned in the Quran the same as Alexander the Great of Macedon? As reported by some information media, there is a common misconception that Zulkarnain is Alexander the Great. However, there are notable differences between the two. Religious differences. Zulkarnain mentioned in the Quran was a devout Muslim, whereas Alexander the Great was a non-believer and a student of Aristotle, who was also a non-believer. Era differences. Islamic scholars believe that Zulkarnain lived during the time of Prophet Ibrahim, whereas Alexander the Great existed near the era of Prophet Isa, with a span of over 2,000 years separating these two periods. Empire size. Zulkarnain's dominion extended from the eastern to the western reaches of the earth, while Alexander's empire encompassed only Persia and Rome. Achievement. Zulkarnain built a barrier wall to protect a people from the wicked actions of Gog and Magog. This achievement is not attributed to Alexander the Great of Macedon. Thank you for watching, and may this video be a source of benefit for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with others.